Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome to the United Talk. Arsenal 1, Manchester United nil, and more recently, Istanbul 2, Manchester United 1. The two games we expected to win and we needed to win as well, but we were not able to. And what these results mean is that in the Premier League, we are 15th in the table, and we are on our way to the worst start in our Premier League history, worse than even David Moyes. So, I mean, I think what points are we on? Are we on 7 points from 6 games? I think yeah, that's true. In the Premier League, that's relegation form, to be honest. And I'm not saying that we will get relegated. But what I'm saying is, you don't expect this from Manchester United, do you? And especially when you finished third in the last season and you've had so many good players, you don't expect this. And against Istanbul, the one ray of hope that we have was Champions League. And I'm not saying we would have won it, but what I'm saying is, at least we were doing well, we were playing well. We defeated the two most difficult teams in the group, right? In PSG and RB Leipzig, and we defeated them by playing well. It was not even like a fluke. It was not like counter-attacking football. We actually played well in those games. So again, against Istanbul, this is inconsistent FC all over again. And a lot of people are saying Oli out. I've personally never been Oli out, but first thing is, this is what I've said before when the transfer window ended. And I said that this season Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be sacked. He will be sacked. And I said he will be sacked by Christmas. Now, I might be proved wrong because I think he might be sacked even before that if he doesn't win against Everton. I'm not saying he will be sacked in the international break, but he will certainly be under so much of pressure if he doesn't win against Everton, because what that means is that we'll have 8 or 7 points from 7 games. Now that is really, we've already lost 3 games in the Premier League season so far, and in the Champions League we need to win the next game and the next game as well, or at least draw the next 2-3 games with winning one in order to qualify, because this group is really tight. So if you slip up, I mean, you can easily lose to RB Leipzig away, you can easily lose to PSG at home, and the only game that remains then is Istanbul at home. So you need to win that game and then get a point from somewhere else as well. So who do you put this blame on? And it's, for me, this blame is on everyone, because like I've mentioned, when the transfer window ended, I said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be sacked because last season, and everybody talks about how good we were last season. Well, last season, after the Burnley game, when we actually caught Bruno Fernandes and we actually went on that run of winning continuously and not losing a game or whatever it was, but even after lockdown, you saw Martial, Rashford, Greenwood playing week in, week out up front as a front three, and there were no changes. We ran changes against Norwich in the FA Cup, and you saw what happened. Was it Norwich? Yeah, it was Norwich. We almost. I mean, we were on the cusp of actually getting that game into penalties, and Harry Maguire scored, I think, or whoever scored. But that's the thing. When the first team doesn't play, when the front three don't play, we are not as effective, and that's why I said we needed a right winger. We needed a Jadon Sancho, we needed right winger. We also needed a centre back. Now, I'm not saying that if we would have gotten a right winger or a centre back, we would have been in a better position today. That's not the point that I'm trying to make. But what I'm saying is, this inconsistency from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, yes, it's there. It's the manager's fault. It's the player's fault as well. But I'm going to come to that. But to begin with, the blame also has to be on the board, because we've seen that time after time after time. Louis van Gaal wasn't backed when he should have been backed. Right, Jose Mourinho was not backed when he should have been backed, and now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has not been backed. So it's the board who has to be in the picture for this problematic era that we are in right now as a Manchester United fan and a player, because the board is responsible for at least 30-35%, if not more, of this chaos. Now, more than that, you talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and like I said, I've never been Ole out, but he doesn't help himself, does he? And you see with Ole, this team is a reflection of its manager. And you look at us and how we are. We are a confident team. Like, I'm not saying we are a confident team right now, but we play on confidence, right? So when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in as a temporary manager, he was confident. We were all excited. So that we went on a run. We went on a run of a lot of games that we did not lose. We kept winning against all the big sides as well, till that PSG game 2 years ago, when we actually beat them in the Champions League to qualify for the next round when we played Barcelona. So till that point, we were a confident team. And then there was one result, which was a poor result, and we kept losing the games thereafter in the season, which continued to last season in the beginning as well, where we continued to lose points week after week till the Christmas period, till the Burnley game. And at the Burnley game, after the Burnley game, we all were almost on the cusp of saying, Ole out. And then he gets Bruno Fernandes, the team gets some kind of confidence, you go on a run, you get like the lockdown, after lockdown you're confident again. So again, you go on a run, and then till that Southampton game, I guess, or West Ham game where we dropped points towards the end of last season. And then again, when our confidence was down, we lost to Chelsea, we drew to Southampton, we drew to West Ham, then we won one game against Leicester, we barely won against Copenhagen in the Europa League, and we lost to Sevilla. And then in the beginning of the season as well, you've seen the losses that we've had. So it's, if you draw a graph of how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's timeline at Manchester United has been, it's like this, up, down, up, down, up, down. And why is that? Because when we get a good result, we tend to get so many good results together. And then when we get a bad result, we tend to get so many bad results together. So he is a confident manager, and the fact that people say that he's a PE teacher, well, I don't agree with those people. But while he does have tactics, he gets stuck in those tactics. Like last season, we were playing well against the big sides because we were playing on the counter attack and they didn't have an answer to our pace. Daniel James was there, Rashford was there, Martial was there, Greenwood was used to come in as well. So they didn't have an answer. Now that tactic stopped working when the teams figured out how to play against us on the counter attack. We switched to a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 formation after lockdown. That worked until a certain point, and then the teams figured us out. So, and then now, what are we playing now? We're playing with a diamond. Now the diamond worked well against RB Leipzig, right? And we don't have any wingers, so the diamond is our best formation, probably. Or maybe a back five. But when the teams have figured out the diamond, like Arsenal did, they figured out the diamond. We lost to Arsenal because they played a back five and they were able to utilize their wingers. That's what they were able to do, the wing backs. And they were causing us problems all the time. So a good manager, whenever he sees that the opposition has figured out a tactic of his, he immediately changes it, right? I've seen Mourinho, I've seen what's his name, the bald fraud, Guardiola. I've seen Klopp, all the good managers, I've seen them make substitutions in the first half if necessary, when the tactics are not working out. In the 30th minute, in the 20th minute. Mourinho does it so often. Why? Because if it's not working, it's not working. It's okay. I mean, in the beginning of the game, on the paper, the lineup might look very good, but they might not play well. There might be a necessity for you to make a change early in the game. And Solskjaer never does that. I mean, I don't understand why against RB Leipzig, when the diamond formation works so well, Mattis was sitting as a defensive midfielder. Fred was playing on the right-hand side of the midfield. So we were tenacious, we were creative. And then against Arsenal, what happened? Why were we not tenacious? Why were we not creative? Why were we not onto the ball quickly? You don't have an answer for that, because I don't know whether it's the players or the manager. How can you play the same formation and not play the same game? Like, why would you not press Arsenal in the Arsenal game? Why? Why would you look lethargic against Arsenal? Is it not a big enough game for you? I mean, is it not a good enough competition for you, Premier League? So I don't know whether it's the manager or the players, but that's a problem right over there. And like I was saying, if it doesn't work against Arsenal, when you see that the wing backs are overloading and they're causing problems, putting crosses in the box, you change something. McTominay has been overrun in the midfield. Why is McTominay playing as a CDM in that? McTominay is playing as a right side midfielder in that game. Fred played really well in the last game, and Fred is now suddenly playing as a CDM. It's chopping and changing way too much. He used to do that in Cardiff as well. So I know that you need to rotate players, but at least play them in the position that they have been playing. We have backup on positions now, apart from defense and maybe on wings, but we do have some backup. Donny van de Beek against Istanbul was our best player on the pitch. He was playing a little bit deep. Now I thought that if you play Donny van de Beek a little bit deeper, we waste his talent. But I was wrong. I'm happy to admit that I was wrong. The fact of the matter is, when Donny van de Beek was playing a little bit deep against Istanbul, he was the one player who had some kind of spark in him. He was trying to control the midfield. He was good. He was playing actually really well. And there it is. 60th minute, I'm going to get a substitution. Last year, it used to be almost 70th to 80th minute. Right? Now this year, it's come down to 60th minute. Always. And what is it between him, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and McTominay? Like, McTominay doesn't play well and still starts ahead of Fred and Matic. Is it like a love affair going on between those two? Because I don't know what McTominay brings to the team right now when he's not playing well. I'm not saying he's a bad player overall, but right now he's not doing anything for us. He's not. So why would you bring on? I don't understand the substitutions. Why would you bring off Axel Toonzibi against Istanbul and bring on McTominay in his place? Like, and then I thought McTominay would play as a centre back. McTominay wasn't even playing as a centre back. Matic dropped into centre back position, and McTominay was playing like a deep lying. He's not a playmaker, so deep lying player maybe. I don't know what he gave to us. So I don't understand the tactics. He does have it, and sometimes they work, but they work once or twice, and then it gets stuck, and then it gets those bad results. And honestly, I mean, I've ranted about Solskjaer almost, and I've said about Board as well, but the players are equally to blame. I mean, if you look at Paul Pogba, somebody said Paul Pogba is not fit. I mean, I heard some fans talk about Paul Pogba not being fit. I completely disagree with that fact. And if he is not fit, why? Like, the season has started almost, what, mid-September, so we are in November now, 1.5 months before. We've had 1.5 months of a footballing season. I know that he's had COVID. I know that he had a hectic last season. But he's got time now to recuperate and do well now. He's got time to be fit now. It's been how many games that we've played? We've played 6 games in the Premier League now, 3 games in the Champions League, 2 games in the League Cup. We've played 11 games this season already, and Paul Pogba is still not fit. I don't agree with that. I think it's just same. The team is inconsistent FC. Paul Pogba is inconsistent FC. And in the past few games, he's actually playing ahead. He's playing in the number 10, left forward kind of a role, a little bit further forward than midfield. And he played well against RB Leipzig. And then what happened against Arsenal and what happened against Istanbul when he came on? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So for me, the players are equally to blame. And I think I don't have an agenda against Paul Pogba. What I'm saying is, look at Harry Maguire. Look at what Harry Maguire, like, he had one good game against, or maybe 2 good games. He scored against Newcastle, and I thought maybe this will give him confidence, but he's not playing like a good defender. Forget a brilliant defender who we paid for 80 million. He's not even playing like a good defender. Like, for that first goal against Istanbul, look at where, I mean, if you look at those images, those screenshots, look at where Harry Maguire and Axel Toonzibi are, how much further forward they are. I mean, the audacity to think that leave Nemanja Matic all there by himself against Dembaba. Who do they think they are? Manchester United, who do they think they are, those players? Going so far up front, playing such a high, it was not even a line, forget high line. It was not even a line. I mean, they were so far forward from that corner. It's unbelievable. That schoolboy defending. I heard Paul Scholes say that's under 10s, and I completely understand why he's saying that. You teach that in school, that you need to keep 2 or 3 men back on counters to prevent counterattacks, on corners, to prevent counterattacks. And that second goal, poor pass from Bruno, poor control. I mean, the control was okay from Mata, but then he got lost out because of his pace, and he doesn't have legs anymore. And then look at, again, you take the screenshot of what happened in that situation. Toonzibi, Maguire, and one more person, they're all standing there all together in a huddle, and nobody stopped the ball. Nobody stopped the ball. And I blame Harry Maguire for this. I can easily blame Lindelof for a few games and Toonzibi for that game against Istanbul as well. But the reason I blame Maguire again and again is because, number one, he's the captain of the team. I don't have an agenda against Maguire. I desperately want him to succeed. But he's the captain of the team, and he's playing and he's a defender who's the senior most defender that we have. I'll give you an example. Sergio Ramos and Rafael Varane when they started. Now, Rafael Varane was a potential. He could have been one of the best defenders in the world. But he had the potential to do that, like Upamecano is right now. But he always played with Sergio Ramos, and the responsibility that Ramos had was to ensure that his back line was tight, they were narrow, they were strong, they know positionally where they were. That is the responsibility of Ramos, right? And he acts like a leader in there, shouts, yells at people, organizes everyone. Harry Maguire doesn't do that. You're the captain of the team, And you are the senior most centre back that is playing week in, week out, every game. Harry Maguire doesn't miss a single game. So, I mean, it's not like you're not experienced. It's not like you don't know Manchester United now because you've been here for a long time and you know these players as well. You've played with Toonzibi a little bit and you've played with Lindelof almost all your career in Manchester United. So, what is the problem? You were going through something personal in your life, and if you can't keep that personal and professional separate, then don't play, because you're playing for a club that we all die to watch. We wake up at 1 a.m. 2 a.m. in the night in the countries where the people that are not living in the UK, and we watch the games late at night or early in the mornings, even the people who are living in the USA. So do something about it. But then again, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I mean, what is Maguire's fault or what is McTominay's fault if they keep getting picked? It's not their fault that they keep getting picked even after performing badly. I tell you what, Harry Maguire will play on the weekend against Everton. You know that, I know that. And he had a very bad performance. Harry Maguire will still captain Manchester United. He will still captain. That's the responsibility of the manager, of the coach, to see what's not working and what is working. If that is not working, just take the captaincy off him and just tell him to focus on his game. He's not a bad defender, but he's turning into one now. So what do you do next? Just take off the captaincy of him and just tell him, look, I'm not giving you a punishment. What I'm doing is I'm not giving you any added responsibility. Just focus on your defending, focus on organizing that back line, and you'll be good. But he doesn't do that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I'm still not saying Ole out. I'm still not Ole out. But he's not making it easy. He's not. I mean, if we lose against Everton, he might well be sacked. And who are the candidates? Like, Pochettino is a candidate. Allegri might be. I'm not convinced with either of them. Personally, I'm not. Because I don't think they are as good as... I mean, if there was someone like an Ancelotti available, you would still be able to trust him because of the experience that he has and the ideas that he brings to the table. And you've seen him play in so many countries with so many teams. And he's a good manager. Sorry, but with Pochettino, with Allegri, I mean, you've seen it once. And you've not seen it too often to actually... Because this club right now doesn't need a manager who can take shit from the board or from the players. You need a manager who has an aura, a charisma, who can challenge the board to say, look, I need these players, you're giving me or not. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has always... Now, I know what else can he do. He's been employed by these people, so he has to come out and say good things about them. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in order to save the board... Or sorry, I just have a bad throat. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to save the board or to just not go against them, it might just cost him his own job. So... he's making very difficult. He's making it very, very difficult. So let's see what happens. We need to win against Everton now. I'm not very positive at all. I don't think we'll win against Everton. I think we'll get a draw. Everton at home, they're a strong team. James Rodriguez, they will be up for it. They know how bad Manchester United can be. Like, everybody knows what our tactics will be, what our game can be. And on our day, we can beat anyone. But normally, it's not our day. So it's inconsistent FC. It's just, personally, I feel it's just time. Give it time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be sacked. That's not what I want. I really like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and it's not because he's a legend at the club. I mean, I didn't want Mourinho to fail. I wanted him gone towards the end because how toxic the environment had become at the club. But when you get a new manager, you always want that manager to succeed, no matter who he is or what his name is. Because in the end, that manager is your club manager, and it's the club that you support. It's the club that you love. It's the club that you want to do well. So I don't care who manages this club anymore. I just want us to have good results and be back at the top, at least challenge the top. At least that can be the expectation, because we have good enough players now. If we add a good defender and we add a good winger and maybe another central defensive midfielder, I think we have a very, very good team. So how far away are we from getting a potentially one of the best teams around? We have one of the best midfields around. Fred is tenacious. You have Van de Beek, you have Bruno, you have Pogba. On paper, those names can frighten anyone in the world. So I don't know, Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, on their day, with their pace, with their creativity, I mean, they are amazing. So how far away are we when De Gea performs so well like he's been doing in the past few games? So we're not that far away. we at least should be challenging for top four. Right now, we're not even challenging for top four. Forget about the title or anything like that. We haven't won a trophy in the past 3 years. And do we look like winning a trophy this season? It's very, very difficult. So, as a United fan, challenging times ahead. That the Manchester Evening News came out with an article, and this is the last thing I'm going to say today. I think it was yesterday they came out with an article, and the person who wrote the article was the chief editor, Samuel Lockhurst, if I'm not wrong. And he has very good connections at the club. MEN, the Manchester Evening News, have very good connections at the club. People tend to disregard that article, that newspaper, that publication all over, but they do have good connections at the club. And when they write something like this, what they've written is basically that United have approached Pochettino for a job. It makes you think that, yeah, I mean, this Ollie out brigade is there, and it's getting louder and louder by every game that goes away. And I'm still not Ollie out because, like I said, I want manager to succeed. But if he continues to have the games and the results that he does, you will think of a Pochettino or an Allegri or whoever else is available now. So this article needs to be taken seriously because it's been news that has been put out by a publication that's very close to the club, and written by a person who's the chief editor. So is he gonna just write an article based on a rumor? Highly doubtful. So it is possible. It is a possibility that United have reached out to Pochettino, but to what extent have the discussions been? We'll never know that. We will never know that. And if anybody tells you that they know, they're lying, because we can never know that. But it is a big possibility. And look, Tuchel can be sacked at PSG as well, because PSG lost to RB Leipzig. They lost to us. They haven't been having a good season. And Tuchel and the board of PSG don't really get along. Andrea Pirlo at Juventus, look at those results as well. Andrea Pirlo has not gotten a very good start to the season. So these teams, I mean, you look at Barcelona and they have not had a good result, and with the Messi situation as well. So there are big teams out there who might be sacking managers in the coming months. So Pochettino will be waiting to see the project that he gets in the few months, and I'm sure he will get a club in the next 8 to 10 months. So it might be one of the reasons as well as to why United have approached Pochettino, if they have, honestly. But we don't know. Those are just, we don't know what the reality is, but we can just talk about what the story is. So this is the story. Let's see what happens. Hopefully Oli can turn this around, and this time, look, I'm almost feeling that even if Oli manages to turn it around and puts together a series of results, because we play against Everton, and if we win against Everton, because we need to, we have West Brom at home. If we win against them at home, right, and then we put on 3-4 wins together, and then people will again start forgetting about what has happened yet. So it's that graph again, up, down, up, down. So if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to turn around, he has to maintain that level of consistency. It's okay to lose or draw a game once in a while, but to do it like this, again, it's not, the problem is not losing against Istanbul or Arsenal. The problem is the way we played those games, the way we conceded goals, the way it is that, and the manager and how it is. So let's see what happens. Do let me know what you think of the video, guys. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Your love, your appreciation, your support is what I need right now. So please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and the bell icon as well to get daily notifications, or whenever I upload the video, you'll get a notification. Until the next time, guys, take care.